What is the number one cliche that comes to your mind when someone says France? Let me show you. That thing. So, what am I doing in Paris, and why suddenly moving 500 kilometers away from home? Well, that is a three-part story. Have you ever heard of the story of the Theseus, or the ship of Theseus? I think it's the name. Now, what this ship is about, basically, there was this ancient Greek myth that was about a soldier, a warrior, a general, a ship captain, something like that, who would go to wars and who would come back as a victorious general, as a victorious captain. And every time that he would return home, what would happen is that obviously the ship would be damaged. And in order to repair the damages that had been done to the ship, what they would do is that they would strip off parts from other ships to glue onto the main ship. So there was a ship graveyard, something like that, something like this, but full of ships. And the damaged ship, the ship of Theseus, would be there. It would be damaged, and they would strip off parts from the other ships that were no longer in use to repair the main ship, to repair the ship of Theseus. And at some point, that ship was no longer the ship of Theseus. That ship had metamorphosed into something else. It was a ship. It was for Theseus, but it was no longer his ship. He would be using it, but all of its parts would be from different ships. So, what is the point here I'm trying to make? The point is that every time you fight, every time you fail, every time you succeed, you lose a part of yourself, and eventually you replace those damaged parts with whatever you find lying around. And today I had to get my new passport, which I got, which is really cool, but more on that later. And right now what I'm wearing, you know, the overall, the backpack, everything else, is mostly the stuff that I have purchased while I was in France, which means if I was my own ship of Theseus, I'm slowly starting to change. Every part of my external life is being replaced with an alternative. Better or worse, I don't know. Also, I apologize if this video is different. First off, I'm not using my usual phone. I'm using a DSLR camera that I borrowed from a friend of mine, and I'm using that camera for shooting this video, which should be in. I should be able to shoot in 4K, but I decided to go for 1080-60. Sounded more natural to me. It sounds weird. Nobody cares. I just want to say I apologize if the audio and the video quality is not the same. If it's better, yay. If it's worse, please bear with me for the next few minutes. Okay, so that's one reason why I needed to travel to the capital. It was because I wanted to get my the new passport, which sounds cool, right? There are two other reasons why I'm here right now. But for the second reason, to work I'm gonna need a drink.
We are the night, a refrain of whispers.
No, not that kind of drink. I meant say soda or something. I want to have lunch. There's a lot of people here. Do you see the queue? There's a lot of people here. That's the Eiffel Tower. That is the icon of France. This is the bridge, well, one of the bridges in Paris where people would like lock their promises, and that's kind of famous. I don't need to explain this. This is the Seine River. See, my promise was about this river and that tower. On January 5th, because you see, last year today, January 5th, 2022, I published Ghosts and Memories, which is to this day one of my better songs, probably the best one I have released so far. And I kind of promised myself that to celebrate it, because I was dreaming, I thought I would be in France, I'm gonna have my lunch in Paris on some random sidewalk on its anniversary. Today is January 5th, 2023. A week ago, you couldn't move in this place because of all the fireworks and everything. There were tons of people here. There are still tons of people here, as you can see, but it's more controllable, less crowded. I'm gonna enjoy my lunch, and I think I have a couple hours to kill. Maybe I'll hit the landmarks. Maybe not. But I am gonna tell you about the third part after my lunch. Here's to you, Ghosts and Memories, and here's to you watching this video.
Tell them if they found you first. Tell them we fought till the end. Tell them they drove us here. They'll sing them our haunted melodies.
And finally, the third part, or the third reason why I've decided to do this video in France, in Paris, like this, is because I'm trying to make a commitment. I'm trying to, obviously, as I promised in the previous video, I want to make more videos, I want to make better videos, and I want to really dive deeper into this world. And that's partly one of the reasons why I borrowed my friend's camera, because I want to see if I've got the creativity to do something like this, then slowly transition into investing into getting gear and a reliable camera. So for the past few years, I've really pushed myself sometimes, tried to make one video every week under any circumstances, unless something was really going on that prevented me from doing it. But I want to make this commitment again, only instead of one video every week. I want to make a video that is worth watching. That means probably I'm going to learn how to edit more. I'm going to finally learn how to roll B-rolls, how to shoot B-rolls. And finally, I want to tell more stories through this medium, in any shape or form. Also, right now I'm hanging out in the opening of the Elysium Gardens. Let's go there. I still think I have some time. Hold on, let me check my ticket. You see this? Yeah, I'm gonna leave here at almost like 6:45. Right now the time is 3 p.m. So I have around 3 hours more or less to kill and to enjoy the city and the landscape and maybe tell some stories. Okay, let's recap. I'm sorry if I look devastated. It just started raining for like 5 minutes non-stop, and then it stopped. Now I don't know if this camera is waterproof or water resistant. I don't know. I wanted to wait for the rain to die down a little bit so I could film a little bit more. Now let's recap. By the way, this is the obelisk of the Concorde, and I'm not sure if it's clear from this angle, but at the end of this street, hold on, if you can see, that's the Arc of Triumph, or as people say here, Arc de Triomphe, another cliche here. This is the Champs-Élysées street, but we're not here for that. I mean, I'm not here for that. I'm not a tourist. I do have a backpack and a camera in my hand, backpack on my back and a camera in my hand, but I'm not a tourist. I came here to tell a story. Now, to do a little bit of a recap, there were three purposes for which I decided to make this video. The first one was I wanted to tell the story of the ship of Theseus. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name or mispronouncing it or giving a different name. The idea is the same, that the more you fight, the more you live, the more you evolve, the more you have parts being added to your character, to your mentality, to your personality, that at some point you're no longer who you used to be. You shed your skin, so to speak. And my shedding is almost complete because in almost 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, it will be 1 year officially since I arrived here to France, which is insane. Part 2 was about the story of January 5th and how I wanted to promise myself to do something big to celebrate my achievement. For me, writing that song was an achievement due to a number of reasons. The most important one of them was because that would have been the last song that I would have ever written in my life. I wanted to go out with a bang. I never thought I would continue writing songs. I did, and I'm very proud of it, but I wanted that to be my what's the word I'm looking for? Epitaph? Is that a word? And finally, the other purpose was to make a promise to myself, to do something, to commit to myself, to be a little wiser, more intelligent, less lazy, and more creative. Now, I know this video may not be anything, but planning something like this for me was insane. Because, see, I left my house this morning at 4 a.m. and I'm going back like all the way that I came around in a couple hours. So you can see that this is not something I would do. God knows in the old days when I wanted to make a video, I would force myself to leave my seat, leave my bed. And now I am traveling across cities, halfway across countries for what, an 8-minute, 9-minute, 10-minute video? That's crazy. Also, that's Bordeaux. That's Bordeaux. And behind him, you should be able to see the Eiffel Tower hidden behind the trees. This is the Concorde Square. That's the big obelisk. I'm in the train. I'm going home. I was gonna film sooner, but I fell asleep. Sorry. Today has been a very eventful day. I really hope the audio it's capturing, because I don't want to scream, people are asleep. Something very interesting happened, which is actually going to be the moral of this video at the same time as a funny thing to talk about. You see, my ticket is around 7 p.m. but I decided to go and chill at the train station, and I went there to the station sooner. I went to the station and I saw that there was another train that's leaving for Strasbourg from my home in like 5 minutes, and it's a different train with a different system and everything. and I decided to test my luck. So I went ahead and I talked to the people who were next to the train. I asked them, "Hey, can I get in the train with this ticket?" I said, "No, because it's not your train." And I decided to test my luck, and I went and I talked to the conductor. I talked to the train conductor and I told him, "I know you're gonna say no, but I have nothing else to do here for 2 hours and I want to go back home. Do you think you can help me?" And he said, "Sure, get on the train." So the moral of this story, and the moral of all of this, I guess, is that I don't accept defeat. Failure is not really a totality of a person. It's an attitude, right? And now I know there is a reason I like to fight. There's a reason I'm going full blown with the ship of Theseus metaphor here. I want to be a different person. I want to learn from all of this. Because if it was my past me, I would have waited 2.5 hours at the train station doing nothing. But I was stepped out of my comfort zone even further. And I'm going home. This was a very funny video to make. I hope it turns out to be as well as I was feeling while I was filming it. If you're still watching this, thank you so much. 2023 is going to be a year of adventures, discoveries, rediscoveries, and a lot of music and video. Take good care of your souls. Stay safe, stay sane, and yeah. Peace.